The CF7 locomotive is an EMD F7 unit built for the Santa Fe Bluebonnets paint earlier in a long time ago. Over the past years, locomotive number 2440 has a long, short hood with a small nose and a top, and on the top, here's the conductor door and the 4 windows on the front. There are 2 horn symbols on the top of the locomotive. These locomotives have a shortened straight hood along with no windows on the side of the diesel locomotives. Originally, lots of the little CF7 diesel locomotives were built for BNSF in the 19s, or not the 18s, but the 19s. Officially, looking back into Railstream, which I have been watching a lot, Norfolk Southern Railroad's brand new EMD ST70 ACU locomotive is what was seen in Chesterton, Indiana, late as of August 29, 2019, a few days before the snowbirds arrive. The CF7 was originally designed for the Santa Fe Railroad in the 19s, but I'm not sure. The CF7 also has a smaller hood with 4 little smokestacks. On the top are some spinning blades, which can be viewed if riding on top of the train inside a tunnel. While you're a hobo and you're train hopping, you can go on top of here, and you can view it with that here. Officially, this Santa Fe CF7 locomotive has 4 smokestacks, 4 axles, a long fit hatchback hood, and a short and long hood. And the Santa Fe logo is all my favorite on this locomotive, the EMD CF7 to be exact. The cab view for the Santa Fe number 2440 was originally a standard Admiral cab instead of the Y cab that was originally fitted on the GE and EMD locomotives, just refined to the NSSD70 ACU locomotives. They were originally rebuilt from the SD90 Max that had been retired from service as of December of 2017. Inside the CF7 locomotive, the cab and seat are pretty much the exact modern. The spinning blades on the top and the 4 smokestacks indicate that this locomotive is a little baby locomotive. The long hood on the back was a little bit unflared with its light positioned on the back. This high voltage danger sign was originally not on all the CS7 locomotives, but originally some of it. So let me take you a tour for this cab view inside a locomotive. We have a new dark view inside the locomotive and a sweet cab viewing from a tunnel. The controls are remoderned. The circles are clocked inside the control center. The seat has been old wood. The inch of the Santa Fe locomotives coupling up indicate at a better speed. The Santa Fe CF7 can couple up to it slower. They pulled the train, and with a 6-axle GE locomotive in the consist, and even basic long hood forward operations. The entire length of this locomotive is officially smaller, originated from the GP9s. BNSF and Progress Rail have made those locomotives even in Muncie, Indiana or Mayfield, Kentucky, and BNSF shop in somewhere, I believe. This Santa Fe locomotive has a huge gallon of smoke going on. And in the cases, there was also this Union Pacific GEC 44-9W in the middle of the coal train consist. See how that third Santa Fe CF7 locomotive is smoking? Well, that's how it is. In Trainz Driver 2, it's a CF7 day. Today, we're meeting up with A Train 4014 Productions and Warbonnet Productions, K.C. Walker. That'll be the production crew of A Train 4014 Productions, which will be meeting up with us on this full CF7 day. BNSF Q192-394 is a daily intermodal train that runs from Binghamton, New York to Windsor, Massachusetts. This is on the BNSF Chicago to New York City state line and the Union Pacific Times Square Subdivision. BNSF holds those trains going eastward or westward out of Chicago and then going to Windsor, New York and up the Summer Lake. 2 CF7 locomotives were on the current train. However, since we're lucky on CF7 locomotives on this day before Labor Day, the 2 locomotives on the back are, let me tell you, BNSF number 610 is the former Santa Fe GE AC44C4M. Today, this locomotive was originally rebuilt from a GE-9 that was retired, originally built by General Electric in Erie, Pennsylvania or Fort Worth, Texas. Depending on the American locomotive power in Danville, New York, these locomotives were also converted. .639 is a former Santa Fe Warbonnet GE C44-9W. Originally, I did not put the BNSF patch on this locomotive. I turned that into a Santa Fe loco. The BNSF L750 local train was stopped briefly at the Summer Lake Railroad Museum for a crew change. The BNSF Q192-394 intermodal train comes around it because it originates from Binghamton, New York, on Canadian Pacific's East Binghamton Yard. This BNSF local train gets ready to leave the yard with two EMD CF7s leading the train. Although this local had a crew change up there, it was renumbered as BNSF L794-1. When we got there already, the train was already moving out of the crew change and was slowly approaching a yard for freight switching. Two more Santa Fe blue bonnets have been on the middle of the train, and two white covered hoppers and are at the back too. L794-1 finally makes its stop at Bingo Yard for a one-car set-off in Bingo, New York. Train L794 has been split into sections here when the first part of it was uncoupled for freight switching. L794 began the switch with freight cars after having to uncouple. We stood on the usual track to watch this close switching. Although the L794 train had lots of freight work, the auto racks have been ran around. Note that the power has been split on the train. This will run as train B99-644. That will be the train with the 4 auto racks. When we got to the bridge this morning, the B99 train was already coupled to the 4 auto rack cars. Note the power was split. This is so that the train can enter Pomona Yard and follow the L794 train. The B99 train then meets the L794 train. The head end for the L794 train is already still in LaCroix's tunnel because it will have to wait for train B99 after it worked in Pomona Yard near Pomona, Massachusetts. The B99 train has then arrived in Pomona Yard near Little Baywatch Steam Locomotive 080 number 5, which was parked and will be moved to East Deerfield, Massachusetts with the Pan Am Southern Railroad in 2020. Baywatch number 5 is an 080 little steam locomotive built in 1936 and was the little and smallest steam locomotive. The other August of 2019 was when BNSF train R520 has restored this locomotive to operation with a big, incredible mega lash-up. BNSF fake bonnet number 729 and the BNSF number 3935 will move it to the Pan Am Southern Line on January 1st, 2020, New Year's Day. Locomotive number 2506 is bursting a lot of smoke when the B99 Autorack local train arrived in Pomona, Massachusetts near the Massachusetts and New York border. As I said earlier, the Santa Fe CF7 number 2506 has 4 smokestacks on the top of the locomotive. We're not going to film this entire switching right now since the train will be parked for Labor Day. Or maybe a regular day. The next train to go past our cameras on Route 444 was the BNSF mixed freight train M692, which had a really big lash-up full of the next CF7 locomotives, since this is a day full of the brand new CF7 locomotives BNSF ordered back in the 19s. A PRR passenger car was on the front of this train, meaning that a lot of locomotives were on the front of this train, including 2 newly painted GE fake bonnet ET44DCs that were released by BNSF months ago. We'll be seeing more CF7 locomotives on BNSF and Union Pacific freight trains in New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts in part 2. Until next time then, because I gotta go to bed soon. And my iPad is also running out of free charge. Thanks for watching anyways.